I think that would still work. I think. So we will do our best to try to make sure that you get a recording. But technology is great when it works and not so great when it doesn't work. And our home Wi-Fi is having a little bit of hiccuping issues, which is a lot of fun because my husband's working from home and my son is doing some classes upstairs right now. And a few minutes ago, when my Wi-Fi hiccuped, they both started screaming too, "For the Wi-Fi!" So I know it's not just me inside the house working through here. At any rate, I am delighted to see all of you here. I'm going to ask if the All-Stars could please use the raise hand, and then I'll call on you. I'll call on one person first, and then I'll put two of you on a screen at a time, and we'll start to do our introductions for the folks that will be helping me to co-host the call today. And I'll lead us off at the end of it there. All right, so we're going to go Mindy, and then actually let's do this. Where was Christopher? You were just on screen here. Okay, we'll go Mindy and then Joey and Christopher. I'm going to make you a co-host. If you would be so kind as to just keep two people on screen to do their introductions from the All-Stars. And again, those are the people that are raising their hand. Is that all right?
That's fine.
Just made you a co-host, so you should. Okay, perfect. Go ahead and I'll try to do my dial-in right now. Thank you, Christopher.
Mhm. Good morning, everyone. So excited to be here the first Friday with all of my friends and colleagues and all of you guys. I am Mindy Stern. I love to help you accelerate your career. Whatever that means, whatever stage you're in, that's what I'm here to help you with. Here to answer any questions. I host a group called the Accelerators. We meet on a monthly basis. Our next meeting is on March 6th, which is next Wednesday. You are all welcome to join. It is a free event on Zoom. This month, we have something a little different in honor of Women's History Month, which starts today. Allison Kermode is going to talk about how to harness positive energy. And we all have energy within us, and she's going to talk about how to find your energy, how to keep your energy during difficult circumstances, which the job search, as we all know, is a difficult circumstance, and how to get more positive energy. So please join us. I'm going to put the link into the chat so that you can register. There's still some spaces left for Wednesday, and just mark your calendar, Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, and we hope to see you then. Joey, I'm going to send it over to you.
Thank you, Mindy. Hello, all. I'm Joey Himmelfarb. I am an author. I've written a book about selling yourself in the job market. I'm also a speaker, and I speak about helping you sell yourself, not just in the job market, but just in general. And my mantra is positive beats negative every day. And so I'll be a silent listener in this conversation. If I hear you going down a rat's hole and bringing dark, negative energy to the conversation, I will pipe in, pipe up, and try to bring you back and show you the light. Linda, up to you.
Hi, guys. I'm Linda Brubaker, and I'm a job search coach. And what I do is that I work with all of you to help you to highlight and showcase your transferable skills to find your next forever jobs. I don't believe in forever jobs anymore, so I think you should always be looking and always have your materials out there. And what's important is how you put yourself out there so that you're making sure that what you're doing is easily recognizable by the person you're talking to or the materials that you're sending to someone else. I work with job seekers at all stages of their career. So whether you're returning to the workforce, whether you're looking for your next job, or you're looking to move up in your company or move out to find something new, I'm here to help. And I love providing information and resources for people. So that's me, and I'm going to send it over to Jen.
Good morning, everyone. I was just trying to get this into the chat. I'm sharing that I have the pleasure of working in the Willis Tower of in downtown Chicago today, and I'm looking out over the beautiful Lake Michigan. I am a career empowerment coach and have come to know a lot of these other VIPs who are here, and all of us support you in different ways. What I specialize in is working with mid-career women to spark their inner power and to really own their strengths and find their ideal role that is best suited for them. So I am happy to be here, and I put my LinkedIn in the chat. Would love for you to connect. Who are we passing it to?
All right, Jen, are you ready to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, my name is Janet O'Brien. I am literally celebrating the first day of unemployment today. So I am most recently a data analyst and was in that position for a little over 2 years. But I unfortunately very new. I mean, very experienced, not very new to the job searching world. So I welcome any suggestions and any positive vibes that you could send my way.
Thank you very much.
Christopher, Brenda wants to know how she can unmute from her phone.
That is, well, let's see.
It's
Can
a
you hear me
star
now?
function.
If you
Star
talk,
something.
Should, star six
there's-
should be.
I think
star
it's
six.
Star
good.
six.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Look at that. We made it through. I don't know how we did that, but I do know how we did that because I surround myself with awesome, amazing people. And we're a great community here. That's how we do it. So my name is Brenda Meller. I am your host. And I'm delighted to see all of you here today. You may not be delighted to see me because if you are on the call, that means you are in career transition. You might still be in career transition. Maybe you've run around these calls for a while. Maybe you're back in career transition, which is not a fun place to be as well. Or maybe you're starting the path of looking for a new job and you're coming in here and you're in this, I like to call you WBL, working but looking. So you might be in a variety of different capacities bringing you here today. Whatever brings you here, I am glad that you're here. We are glad that you're here, and we are your team. We are here to support you. As we are getting the call started, I want to let you know this is something we do once a month, the first Friday of the month. And over the next roughly hour, we'll be taking some questions from all of you. If you do have a question related to your job search, I want you to go into the chat and type in the question in all caps. And I always just do an example question, and I just say, do you like coffee? Because it's really easy for me to type in as an example. Just to show you, I want the word question in all caps followed by your question. That makes this easier for us to find us inside the chat. And then also, as soon as you've asked that question, use the raise hand function if you can. That way we can see you. The raise hand will go up. Mine's not coming up right now because I'm disassociated with my phone. But when you raise, oh, there it goes. Thank you. When you raise hand, it should bring the raise hand up, and that helps to bring you up to the top of my video pane so I can see that you have raised your hand. Alternatively, if you have a success story, I want you to type in the word success in all caps and just SUCCESS. Just type that in. Then I will call on you and I'll say, Jen, what's your success story? And your success might be you got a job. It might be that you're interviewing. It might be that recruiters are starting to notice you on LinkedIn based on the advice you're getting on these calls. Whatever you deem to be a success on the path to getting a job, we want to hear from you, okay? And I'm going to ask for maybe 2 to 3 volunteers for people who are new. So if you're new, just type in new, N-E-W, meaning you've not been on one of these calls before. This is the first time you've been on the call here today. Just type in the word new, and I'm going to call in 1 or 2 of you, and I'll ask you to unmute yourself and to briefly introduce yourself. All we're looking for here is tell us your targeted job title, your targeted geographic area, and how you heard about these calls. That's what we're looking for, okay? And in the interest of time, if you start to go a little long, I'll just remind you, we're just looking for targeted job title, targeted geographic area, and how you heard about these calls. And I know when you're in career transition, it's a very psychologically transformative process. You go on highs, you go on lows. And I've now been on this side of the fence, working independently as a solopreneur for going on 7 years now. And I still have times. I was on a call with Jen Steinhauer last night. I still have times when I go back to that moment when I was in that conference room with the then president of the organization, and she told me that my position was eliminated. And I even felt like last night, Jen, it was a little bit of therapy for me. Like I needed to retell the story again. And that's a natural part of the process, but we want to make sure that we get through your questions and that we're helpful for all of you. By the way, if you don't know me yet, if we've not had too many interactions, what I do is I'm an independent marketing consultant who specializes in LinkedIn, and I work with people who are job seekers. I work with solopreneurs, and I work with employees of companies to help them to get a bigger slice of the LinkedIn pie. Pie is my thing. Following me in a while on LinkedIn, you'll start to know that I talk about pie a lot. And March, we've got a very special holiday coming up in March. It's 3.14 Pi Day, PI Day, if you will. So on March 14th, I'm actually going to be at an event talking about Pi. Very excited about that. Talking about LinkedIn, I should say, but I'll be bringing a Pi with me. All right. We are going to keep going here. Is everything still running smoothly for you guys? Give me a thumbs up if everything is going smoothly. Okay, at least you can hear my audio. My screen might be freezing, but the audio is going good. Okay, so let's start with a few introductions. Actually, let me do this first. I want to see who's on the call. Let me just run through and say hi and good morning to all of you. Good morning to David, Janet, Linda, Al, Alan, Alex, Alexandra, Amy, D, Amy M, Andrew, Angie, Brian, nice to see you, Brittany, Cheryl, Chris, Colette, Dana, David K, David M, David S, get Club David in the house today. Dean, nice to see you, sir. Debbie, Diana, Donna, Ed, Esmeralda, Fadi, Frank, Genesis, Harvinder, Jen, Jessica, Jill, hey, Joey, Julie B, Julie F, Julie K, Club Julie, Katem, Katie W, Kelly, Kristen, Christy, Kyle, Looney, Margot, Marlo, Michelle, Megan, Melinda, Melissa, nice to see you, Michelle E, Michelle T, Mimi, Mindy, nice to see you today, Terry, Mernda, Nan, Nancy, hey, how you doing? Natalie, Arturo, Neil, Nicholas, Nick, Noel, Roseanne, Samuel, Sandra, nice to see you again. Scott B, Scott V, Sean, hey, Sherry, Sophie, Stan, Stephanie, Steve, Tamara, it's Tamara, I apologize. Tina, Todd, Tracy, hey, Valentina, nice to see you. Sana Durga, Viral, Wendy, and Michelle. And I'll ask all of you if you could please keep yourself on mute for the duration of the call. You can see we've got a fairly large group here. And by the way, this Zoom account that I have only has 100 seats. So if you notice, we've got 89 folks on the call. If you want to make sure you get a seat, jump on in the beginning of the call. Otherwise, you'll get a message that says the Zoom is full, and then you have to go and watch us on YouTube. So just to let you all know that. All right, so we're going to do a few new introductions first. So let me call on just a few of those individuals, and then we'll get into some questions. And again, if you have put a question or a success story, use the raise hand. That helps me to find you quickly inside the chat and also up on the screen here. And while we're doing that, feel free to drop your introduction into the chat, which we want to hear from you. We want to know your targeted job title, your targeted geographic area, and your LinkedIn URL. So be sure to save those inside of chat. We've got a lively chat here today. We're going to be using it a lot. All right, give me just a second because I saw a few new people. I'm just trying to scroll down to see those individuals. Okay, Kristen Howland, if you could please unmute yourself and introduce yourself to the group.
Thank you.
Hey, Kristen, how are you?
Thank you very much. I'm Kristen Howland. I am a marketing executive. I'm looking for a director of marketing position. I've been in ed tech for the better part of the past 20 years, but I'm trying to make a pivot to health and wellness. Companies think like Noom or Whoop or those kind of things. I am based in the Boston area and looking for most specifically hybrid or in Boston. I'm not looking to relocate, and I don't want to go into an office 5 days a week.
Okay, good to know. And I have a couple of Boston area connections, including at Whoop, but Whoop did do some layoffs about a year or so ago. I'm not sure if they're hiring back in, but let's connect offline on LinkedIn about that. But how did you hear about us, Kristen?
Probably a LinkedIn event that you know what, actually, one of my, I'm in a job search group, and a woman posted about your all day event. So I've been following you for a few weeks as a follow-up to your WBL event.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining and for sharing. And
thank you.
We're glad to see you here, but we hope to not see you here all the time. You know,
exactly.
If you will.
Me too.
Hope you back to work.
Thanks.
You're welcome until then. All right. Next up, let's go to Harvinder. Christopher, I'm not sure if you're able to find him or her to unmute, but Harvinder, if you could please unmute yourself and please tell us your, oh, there she is, targeted job title, your targeted geographic area, and how you heard about us.
Sure. Thank you. First of all, Brenda, this has been awesome. And this is my first Friday call, but I first time got invited to attend your webinar, Working But Looking. though even I'm not working, but it was really, really very informative and very, I would say, uplifting webinar. And that's how I got hooked to you and your colleagues, and I've been trying to connect with them. My name is everybody. My name is Harvinder Madan, and I'm actually looking for senior director HRBP roles. My most recent position was that. I was lastly working with Quest Diagnostics. I am in Metro Detroit area. I would be looking for positions in this area or remote opportunities. But thank you so much, Brenda, for these calls and all these great work that you do to uplift people. And I can totally relate to the sentiment that you were sharing a while ago. Every time, sometimes that imposter syndrome comes in and you self-doubt all the work that you've done for over 20 plus years, you kind of self-doubt yourself. And this upliftment really helps. You have to believe in you, and I know sometimes the times are tough, but you got to move on. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, we're going to keep this moving along. Thank you so much, Harvinder, for joining us, and great to see all of you. We're going to do some questions here today, and I see that there's been a few questions added in chat. I'm not seeing any hands raised, so I'm going to just pop around. I see there's a few people asking about the connection requests that are now limited on your free basic account. So I want to kind of clear this up here. And I do not work for LinkedIn, by the way. I am an independent marketing consultant. I am connected with a network of people who are like me, who are LinkedIn trainers and coaches from across the world. And we always share notes because a lot of times LinkedIn's not really that good at letting us know what's happening and what's changing on the platform and why. And what they are doing right now is, LinkedIn's a business. I think you all know they're a business and they have to make money. There's a lot of us that are using the free basic version of LinkedIn, and we've never been paying LinkedIn any money. Now, they also make money on advertising, right? Serving ads to us. And when you're seeing those ads, the people that are paying for those ads are helping to fund LinkedIn. LinkedIn also has memberships that you pay for, and there's a job seeker career version. I think it's $30 a month right now, if I'm not mistaken. It might be 40. Correct me if you know, go in chat and say that. Then there's a business premium account, which I think is either 70 or 80 per month. And then you go up from there. There's like a sales navigator, which is around 100 or so per month. And then there's a recruiter version, which is like 120, 130 or something. And then you can also buy annually for those subscriptions. Now, I'm not here to sell subscriptions to LinkedIn. I do not make money on whether you use it for free or use the basic version. I try to educate people on using the free basic version to the fullest extent. And especially knowing that many of you are in career transition and maybe can't afford for that upgraded version. Now, for those of you who are maybe working and using LinkedIn as a networking tool and maybe for business development and maybe on the side for job search, go to your boss and say, do we have a professional training and development budget? If so, I would love to upgrade to the premium version of LinkedIn. And when I do so, I get access to LinkedIn Learning, which gives you this whole video library. So if you have professional development dollars at your company, ask your boss if you can upgrade to that, and let them know there's a premium career version, which is less expensive. And then there's a premium business version, which is a little more expensive. They both give you basically the same thing, and it's called premium career because it's really more for job seekers, but it'll save your company a little money if you do that, as opposed to premium business, which is a little bit more. So if you're working, I'm going to encourage you to think about doing that. If you are not working, you don't have the budget, you do not wish to upgrade, and you're now finding yourself limited to how many personal notes that you can send out to new connections each month, you might have noticed you get a message that says you can only send out 5 notes with invitations or 10 notes with invitations this month. Here's what I am recommending that people do. One workaround is that you can join, if you're a member of a common group with a person in the same LinkedIn group, you can message those people. I am starting to hear rumblings that LinkedIn is realizing that loophole and they might be taking it away. Okay, so I'm just letting you know that might be a possibility that it's going to be taken away. Okay. The other thing that you can do is be very selective about who gets a personal note with your invitation, okay? I typically say for fellow job seekers, remind people that you were on the VIP call. But what I would do is instead, don't include a personal note to people on the call today if you have the free basic version, because you don't want to waste those on a job seeker. You want to really use those personal notes on recruiters and hiring managers, okay? So for the people that are on the call, if you see they have open to work on the profile, or if you know that they were on the call, just accept it. And then immediately after accepting, just say, hey, Kristen, it was great to see you on Brenda's VIP office hours today. So that way you both remember where you met, okay? Now, let's say you do very strategically use your 5 or 10 invitation personal notes that you have. Now you've run out of them and you still want to try to get more of those invitations accepted. What I would do is go to their activity feed for that person on LinkedIn, find a recent post that they have done, and leave a thoughtful comment, like 1 or 2 sentences. Make your comment known, like really make it stand out. Don't just say, great job, congratulations, great article. Like add a thoughtful comment with something in there. There's a good likelihood they're going to see that comment. And then they might click on your name to go to your profile, where if you've sent them an invitation and you haven't included a note, it'll say accept, ACCEPT, like they can accept your invitation. And then immediately after they accept, if they do accept, message them back and just let them know, hi, Kristen, I'm going to use you, Kristen, as an example again here, but hey, Kristen, I normally would include a note when personalizing invitations, but LinkedIn has imposed a new invitation limit. So just wanted to follow up and let you know that I really enjoyed your post about X, Y, and Z. So get the conversation started there. That's my workaround right now, is just making yourself familiar and being more strategic about how you're using them. Another alternative is you can upgrade to premium career. When you do so, you'll get 1 month for free, and you just need to cancel before day 30, and then you won't get billed for the next month, okay? If you are a veteran, I believe LinkedIn will give you 1 year free access to LinkedIn Premium. I think that is still the case. I'm going to ask if any of the All-Stars have any other workarounds or suggestions. This limitation has been around for at least a month or so now. So I'm wondering if anyone else has any other suggestions. Christopher Jensen, and then Mindy, go ahead.
My workaround or suggestion is asking your public library to see if they have a account that you can use. Often they do for job seekers.
Good to know. Thank you, Christopher. Mindy, how about you?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that it's not just for veterans, that free year, it's also for their families. So you're able to expand that and definitely use that perk if you have someone who's a veteran in your family, because a free year is a free year. So welcome to do that.
Okay. Awesome. I see a couple more All-Stars are raising their hands. Linda's raising her hand, and I see Dean raising his hand too. Go ahead.
So here's another workaround. If you check somebody's profile, in many cases, they will say message directly on the profile. Try that. Many people have changed their message settings, so it's not just that they will accept an in message, they will accept a message from anyone. And what I'm recommending is that you message them if that's available, and just say, I'd really like to connect, use that as your message request message. And if they say, are you open to connect? Then send them connection request. You haven't wasted a message.
All right, good tip, Linda. Thank you. And some people will get like the in-mail messages too. I personally have turned my in-mails off, but if you have any in-mail credits, you can use those as well. There's a workaround in there. Dean, did you have something to add to that?
Yeah, Brenda, when you put your personal information in the chat, you could add your email address and they could email you saying, I'm going to connect with you on LinkedIn.
Okay, that's a good workaround too. Are you referring to chat inside Zoom or chat in?
Chat inside Zoom.
LinkedIn?
So when you're putting your personal information in, connect with me, that way they can say, oh, well, I can't send you a message. I can now send you an email because I have your email.
Yeah. Okay. Good tip. Thank you so much, Jean. And I love the pirating humor that you put in there. I'm a sucker for pie humor, you guys. I mean, make my day by sending me a pie joke, and that's good. Nick, I see that you have raised your hand. Did you have something to add to that, or did you have a question?
Yeah, just real fast. You mentioned using the message function. Now, does that go against your 5 free messages for the month?
So what we are referring to is when you invite someone to connect and you click on connect and then it says add a note or send.
Right.
We are referring to the add feature. So if you're messaging someone, and Linda, could you come back on screen here for a second? Because if you've tried this technique, maybe you're more familiar and you're better, well-versed to respond to the question. I'm not finding Linda.
I'm here.
Christopher, if you
Here
find
we
her.
go.
Yeah, because I
Oh,
just
there you are.
clicked on I just clicked on Linda's, and then I didn't see anything. It was just follow message and more, and I was like, okay, let me click message, and I saw, let's connect, and I said, oh crap, did I just use
It's
up?
okay. I'm not
Did I
worried
just
about
use
you.
up one of
No,
my 5 for the month?
you did not unless you actually sent me a message.
No,
So
I
on
did. I hit send.
that's okay. But if you just hit message, you're probably okay. If you didn't
Okay.
get the message that said you now have 4 connection requests left.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right, I don't want to
Okay.
take up any more time.
No,
Thank you.
so, but it's a good point. And the idea is if somebody's profile says message on it and you send them a quick message, that does not count against your message requests. It is not a connection message. It is a message. And I'm
Thank you.
finding those very useful. And I actually have only 5 connection requests a month or connection request messages a month. So I've been using it a lot. And what I do is I say, here's how we met. Like to be able to continue conversations. Would you be open to joining my network?
Okay.
And asking them that way in that message. When they say yes, all I have to do is connect. I don't need to waste a message.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's really unfortunate that LinkedIn is, I'm just going to go on a rant for a second on my soapbox here. And I don't work for LinkedIn, and I feel like it's really unfortunate that they made this change. And I understand that they are a business, but I'd rather that they would give more features to premium or paid members rather than take features away from people who are out of work and maybe don't have the budget. I feel like LinkedIn did us wrong with this, and they tested this for a while, and this was probably 6 months ago, and then it looked like they were going to stop doing it because there was a lot of negative backlash. And then for whatever reason, they decided to go forward with it instead. And I don't agree with it at all. But I would encourage you to, continue to ask around, because maybe there are other ways that we can resolve the issue. But I think the big thing is we're trying to build trust with people through relationships. So, get more active in the comments when you're trying to connect with someone and you don't have those invitation credits. Go to their activity feed, leave a thoughtful comment on one of their recent posts, maybe like another post or something, but try to make yourself more visible with that person and increase that visibility. And that's going to help you, I think, once they do accept the invitation as well. But and if you have never tried the premium version, you can upgrade 1 month for free. They do require that you put a credit card on file to get access to that. And I think you can only do 1 month free per year, if I'm not mistaken. Every now and again, I see offers running where a LinkedIn employee will say, I have 2 months free to give out. And sometimes people in your network will get those credits as well. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. Try the workaround. Go to your library. I think that's a great point, Christopher. Go up to your library and ask the question, about using those invitation credits. Hopefully they're knowledgeable about how to use that, but we'll keep looking out for you guys in the meantime. All right, we're going to keep moving along here. I did see a question from Julie, and Julie said, I'm applying but not getting any calls from recruiters. I think it was Julie Bruton, if I'm not mistaken. Julie, can you unmute yourself? Are you able to unmute yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Hey,
Hi,
how you
Brenda.
doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm
Nice.
doing well, thank you. So
Nice
tell
to
us what's
connect with
going
you.
on.
Hey, I joined
Yeah,
your
nice to see you.
premium group, your
Yay.
VIP group. So I'm one of your
Yay.
initial VIP members that you sent
Are you
out.
talking about marketing with Meller?
Yes.
Okay, so you joined the membership program.
Yes.
It's a marketing membership program. So yeah, I thought I saw your name inside the group there too. We're going to be focused not just on LinkedIn, but more broadly in marketing within that group, and that's a monthly membership program. The doors actually closed to founding members yesterday, so you got in just in the nick of time there. But
Yeah.
So talk to me, first of all, Julie, remind us, what is your targeted job title? What is your targeted geographic area? Let's start there.
I'm in the Washington, D.C. area. I actually live in Silver Spring, Maryland, and I am looking for a Scrum Master position. I have been working with a company. It's actually a non-paid position. But I've been working with them for a long time as a volunteer Scrum Master, and I've been working with their internship group, and I have been helping out their team. And also I have applied. I have, you can take one of your old jobs and apply it to Scrum because you did some Scrum-like activities in another job. So, but I'm not getting any interviews and I'm not getting any calls at all. So,
And you're applying for jobs pretty regularly, Julie, or talk to us about
yeah,
your job application process.
I've been applying to jobs. I've been going through LinkedIn or Indeed, but I found that Indeed's not really working for me. So now I'm trying to go through Glassdoor.
Okay. I'm going to jump in and I'm going to see if our All-Stars have any questions to ask Julie or any advice for her. But I'm going to start by saying
I was
I'm
also
just gonna
told I
give
was
kind of
too old.
Oh, somebody told you that?
Yeah, not
Did
not
you
not an employer.
say, okay, did you correct them and say, did you mean to say experience rich? Because yes, I am experience rich. I think that's really unfortunate that somebody says that you're too old. If we look around this world, and I'm not going to get political right now, but if we look around this world and we look at the heads of states and the heads of countries and the average age for individuals in our workforce and how people are living longer and we are giving more to society and to our employers, you are a perfectly capable person. And I feel like that's a very narrow-minded statement to say when somebody says to you, you're too old. Julie, you seem like you're capable, you've got your wits about you, you are competent, you are experience rich. That person, I'm not sure if they were offering that to you in the spirit of coaching or to give you perspective or if it was negativity. If
No,
it
it was
was
just
in
a
a negative,
perspective.
okay, if it was in a negative space, I would no longer surround myself with that person. If
No,
it
it was
was
a
in the spirit of
perspective.
helping, okay. If it was in that perspective, I don't think that's a helpful perspective because I don't see you as I guess I'm not in that mindset. I'm going to bring up a couple others. I'm going to bring up Joey first because I'm sure Joey's like, wanting to just jump in on this conversation here. But Joey, what would you have to offer as advice for Julie?
Julie, I think we've had this conversation before. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're right. Going to Indeed and all those other websites is a waste of your time. You have at your fingertips, Julie, a Rolodex of people that you've worked with and have lived with and have known for the last X amount of years. Okay. People you haven't spoken to in decades, probably. Those are people you need to reach out to. Those are people who will be happy to take your phone call, not a text, not an email, a phone call. Use your voice and reconnect. And you don't know who they know. And you don't know who they know that they know. That's how you're going to get in the door. I can't promise you you're even going to get an interview, but I guarantee you that plan of attack is going to reap benefits, if for no other reason, just to help you connect with people you haven't spoken to in 2+ decades. Because you don't know who knows who. You just don't know.
That's okay. Thank you.
Mindy,
Thanks,
what
Joey.
do you have to add for Julie?
You're welcome.
Hey, Mindy.
So just so everyone knows, Julie is probably one of the fastest learners I have ever come across. She and I worked together on her LinkedIn profile, and within maybe a day, she had made so many amazing changes. And so you are well on the way, Julie, to your next great job. I would like to say this. Number one, you definitely have to join us on Wednesday for our positive energy seminar. It's all about positivity. And so Joey talks about positivity all the time. I love it. Brenda talks about it. We all know that it's very, very challenging to stay upbeat and uplifted when you're looking for a job and you're getting constant rejections, you're getting ghosted. We have all been there and done that. And so we understand that it's very difficult to keep that positive energy up. But I will tell you that the people that you're applying to, the interviewers, everyone that's interacting with you, they sense it when you're not positive and they're looking for positive people. And so keeping your positivity up, get the tools that we're going to talk about on Wednesday. Be always prepared to meet and greet other people. LinkedIn is a treasure trove of people. You look at your first level connections, then move on to your second level connections. These are the things that are going to help you to start connecting to the jobs that you're looking for. And it's not that you don't have a job or that you're too old. You don't have your next job yet. That's it. Not yet. But you got to keep moving forward. Motion is lotion. You got to keep moving. You got to keep moving one foot in front of the other, doing positive activities. Surround yourself with positive people who can really help you along the way.
Okay. Can you put that link in the link for the Wednesday meeting?
Of course, I'll do it again.
Okay,
Absolutely.
great. Thank you.
All right, we have friend Kenneth Lang joining us. Kenneth, what advice do you have for Julie?
Hi, Kenneth.
Kenneth, you're muted. We'd love to hear from you, but we can't right now.
Yep,
We'll
there
try
you
it
can.
again.
There you can. Just a couple of things that I've come across with the people I'm working with. Request recommendations or recommend other people on LinkedIn. It's a great way to reconnect. Go to your former coworkers, go to people that you worked with and ask them to recommend you and let them know at the same time what you're looking for. Because these are people you've worked with. And it's one of those hidden gems. You know, I see so many resumes to this day that still have references upon request on the bottom. And it just is like so old school. And it's so much better to use that recommendation feature because they can definitely, sing your praises in ways that, and again, you never know who knows who. So that's kind of one of the things that I would definitely recommend, no pun intended. And then be very specific when you ask for help. Like we've had a couple of conversations. I think a lot of people are very willing to help. And even if possible, find a bunch of people, find your own tribe of job seekers, because you'll be surprised how much support you get from people that are all going through this together. We're all happy to help, but if you find a bunch of people who are going through something similar, you can share your journey together. So those are my things to chime in with.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you. That was great.
Okay, so I'm going to close this off, and thank you so much, Kenneth. I'm going to close this off by I'm going to offer this advice to you, Julie, but to everyone on the call as well. If you are job searching right now, I want you to think about I don't even know if I want to say 50-50, but let's just say 50% of the job search is you searching for a job. It's you looking at the job boards, getting your resume updated, applying to the job, doing all the things that you need to do that are, you're kind of putting yourself at the mercy of the black hole of the job search. And I talk about this a lot. I hate the black hole of the job search. You're like applying and then you keep your fingers crossed and then maybe you get an automated email or maybe you don't, but you don't have control over that part. Right. So that's what I'm saying, like 50% of it's the necessary evil. You have to do it. But the other 50% is what else you do to warm yourself up for visibility for the position. So when you apply for a job at a company, if you're really excited about this position, I want you to look up the company on LinkedIn and follow the company page. Okay. Scroll down next to the About section of the company page. And some companies will have a notify recruiters that I'm interested in roles at this company. If they have that button, click on that. The next thing I want you to do is go to the company page feed and find a recent post and add a thoughtful comment to it. You're going to get some visibility for that because not everybody's going to do this. And you know who's looking at the company page? Recruiters for the company, hiring managers for the company. A lot of times it's the HR department managing the page because they know that LinkedIn is kind of viewed by a lot of people as a job search site, even though it's used more for networking, but they know the company pages are part of their recruiting tool set. So they're looking inside there, okay? The next thing I would do is go to the employees. There's a link for employees on the page and look for employees that would work in the department that you want to be a part of. Find maybe 2 or 3 of them and invite them to connect. Now, if you've got those personal note credits, use them. Hi, Julie, we haven't met yet, but I see that you work for XYZ company, and I also have experience in the technology field. Let's connect on LinkedIn. Okay, so you're not telling them that you're applying for a job at the company in the invitation, but you're saying that you know that they work for the company and you're in their field, okay? Then after they accept, hey, Julie, I noticed that you're hiring for a Scrum Master at the company. I'm curious, what do you think of the culture there? I'm still not asking for their help in the job. I'm just asking for some advice on what they think. I'm warming them up, building the relationship. They may or may not reply back to that. If they don't, I move on to the next person, right? And try this with a couple people a week. And maybe in that department, it's a small department. So maybe if it's not that department, it's a department that might support that department. So if I was looking for a role in marketing, and I saw Kristen earlier saying marketing, I would look for people that work in the sales team or in the customer service team, invite them to connect. So what I'm doing is I'm building up my visibility. I'm not at the mercy of the black hole, right? Because you apply and then you keep your fingers crossed. I'm not waiting for that. I am taking action. I'm getting in there. I'm going to get in their face, right? And then on the same token, if you have applied for a position and you have not gotten a form email or anything back, figure out who is the hiring manager or the recruiter, try to make a direct connection to them, and politely, professionally, hi, Julie, I applied for a position at your company. Just wanted to make sure that you received my resume. If I don't hear back from you, I will check in again with you a week from now, okay? And do that until they reply back to you, because you know what happens? Sometimes things slip through the crack. I heard a story once of somebody who applied to a job through Indeed. They were very qualified. Somehow they made a connection to the hiring manager or recruiter, and they said, yeah, I never heard back. Guess what? Even though Indeed said your application had been submitted, it didn't get sent over to the company. Something happened. The technology slipped through the cracks. So assume that they don't get it until they tell you, until you get a confirmation. Do so politely and professionally, okay? And I do want you to keep in mind too, this is kind of general advice I heard a while ago. I'm gonna take Julie off camera because I don't want you to feel like, Julie, I'm just speaking to you. I'm really speaking to all of you. I heard this advice a long time ago. If you are applying to jobs on a regular basis and you are never getting called for an interview, it may be an issue with either a mismatch of your skill set and the qualifications. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. Or it might be your resume. And if you've never had a professional look at your resume, find somebody who can do so. Somebody who is qualified, not just a friend, but like a qualified resume writer. You can go through your college or university career services department. A lot of times they offer resume review for free. Okay, so check that. And sometimes we'll have people on the call as part of the All-Stars that will say, I'll look at your resume for free. Just make sure they're a qualified resume expert to do so. If the resume checks out and they're saying, yeah, you're qualified, then let's figure out, are they actually getting your application, right? Let's try to troubleshoot that. Now, if you're getting interviews or phone screens, but you're never moving into the second round, then I've heard it could be, again, an issue with either mismatch of personality and fit, or it could be your interviewing skills. And if you've never done a mock interview, again, try the college, university, career services department. Even if you graduated 20, 30, 40 years ago, they will provide those services to you for life. Sometimes it's at a low cost for alumni. Sometimes it's entirely free, but do a mock interview. You might say, Brenda, I know how to interview. I know you know how to interview, but are you doing anything in the interview that's shortchanging yourself as a candidate? You might be doing things that you don't even know, and they'll be honest and they'll be blunt with you. Okay. If the All-Stars have any other advice you'd like to offer, please raise your hand. Otherwise, we're going to move on. Okay, Joey, I got Joey riled up about something. Let's see what I did.
So,
go ahead, Joey.
Not only is it important to do the mock interview, which is excellent advice, make sure you record it, either audio or video or both, and then review it, because you're sitting in the forest and you can't see the trees. You've got to be able to hear and see what you're saying and how you're behaving. Your nonverbals could be a turnoff. The words you're using could be incorrect. You may be using a lot of ums and ahs and turnoff. So make sure, if you do the mocks, make sure you record yourself. That's all I have to say. Thanks.
There was a site, I don't know if you remember what it was, Joey, where you could do a video interview. Yeah. Do you remember that site?
I don't remember. You're right.
It's actually Riveter.
That's it. Yep. River. Yep.
Could you put that inside the chat? I couldn't quite hear that, and that'll help other people as well, whoever said that.
I did at 10:49.
Oh, thank you so much for doing that. Appreciate it. Okay, Mindy, I see your hand is raised. Did you want to add something?
Yes, I would love to add something. So yes, although I do interview prep with my clients all the time, I think everyone should know that there is free interview prep on LinkedIn. If you have, I believe it's just for premium, but they will record it for you. They will ask you great questions. It's a great way to begin getting familiar with interviews. And I strongly recommend it. If it's available to you, definitely go there. It's in the job section.
Thank you so much, Mindy. Appreciate that. All right, and guys, continue to drop in if you have heard of other resources that could help others on the call as well. Feel free to drop those into chat. I'm not seeing any hands raised, so I'm just going to scroll through chat and see if I can find the word question in here. I saw a question about the skills, and just so y'all know, LinkedIn is now increasing the number of skills you can have on your profile from 50 to 100. Most people don't even have 50. I encourage you, if you have 50, to use all the spaces, because I've heard it does help you to come up in more searches. Now, I don't know if that's still going to be the case when we have 100. I don't have the 100 yet, but I'm hearing it's rolling out to people. LinkedIn is saying, hey, this great new thing exists now, and you can add up to 100 skills on your profile. Honestly, you know what I think? I think they're doing this to help recruiters who are doing paid job postings on LinkedIn, because now more people could potentially come up in their candidate searches because there's more skills that we have on their profile. That's my inclination. That's what I think. I always think about follow the money and how does this help LinkedIn? Because why would they give us 100 when they don't even give us free unlimited invitations anymore? Why would they give us 100 skills when we had 50, and 50 was fine? I don't understand that. All right, I see David Mills has his hand raised. David, how are you doing today, sir? How can we help you? Can you unmute yourself? See if he can. Looks like he's muted. There you go. David, how are you?
Fine, thanks. I'm going to lower my hand. I just came up with a question, actually. So LinkedIn Social Selling Index, and I'm wondering how much that matters to the job seekers. And for what it's worth, I used to be around 48, 50, 52. Now I'm at 61 out of 100.
Yeah.
So just if you could speak to that for a little bit, and what score is good and what it matters, what it means.
Absolutely. And what I'm going to do is, as I'm talking about this, I'm going to demonstrate this up on screen, and I'll put this link inside of chat if people want to look at this. I want you all to keep in mind that the Social Selling Index is a free tool that is offered by LinkedIn that gives you the ability to look up how effective are you at social selling. Now, I've created this webpage and I explain it in my own words what it is.
Oh, I didn't know
but
that.
Essentially, it's an index, a scale of 0 to 100. 50 is average. So of LinkedIn's 1 billion members, if you're above 50, you're doing a pretty good job. And now if you go to my webpage and click on my little button, it redirects you to the LinkedIn page where you can then click on Get Your Score. So it's like a light gray box in the middle of the page. You click on Get Your Score. As long as you are logged into LinkedIn, then it will automatically tabulate your score. My Wi-Fi is a little slow here today, but it will tell you what is your current social selling index, and that's out of 100. So I want you to keep in mind, David, it's kind of like if you're, I don't know, for those of you who are parents, if you go to the pediatrician, if they say your child is in the 50th percentile for height and weight, you know that your child is average. Similar to the social selling index. So if you have a score of 50, you're average for all of LinkedIn members. Anything above 50, you're doing a little bit better than the average person. Anything below 50, you have some opportunities for improvement. Now, your total score of 100 is broken into 4 categories that you can get up to 25 points. So now let me speak to you as a job seeker, David, and for others on the call as well. How can you use this, and how can this help you with your job search? Well, you can use it by getting some clues on here is into terms of what are the areas that you could focus on getting in more improvement in those areas. So one category is called establishing your professional brand. You can get up to 25 points in there. If you click on the little question mark, it doesn't really tell you what you need to do, but it does say, generally, you need to complete your profile with your customer in mind. Now, for you as a job seeker, your customer is a hiring manager or a recruiter, okay? And then it also says, become a thought leader by publishing meaningful posts. As a job seeker, you want to be publishing posts that help to illustrate your area of expertise for the industry that you want to work in, okay? So that's one category. The next category is called Find the Right People. You can get up to 25 points in there. If I click on the question mark, it says identify better prospects in less time using efficient search and research tools. Now, even if you have the free basic version of LinkedIn, you can search for people using the search bar at the top, and you can apply filters using the free basic version of LinkedIn. So for example, you could do a search on LinkedIn. Let me go back to my homepage right now, and I could just type in, let's say that I am looking for, I'm going to use data analysis, David, because I know that that's your area. I could type in data analysis recruiter, and maybe we get lucky with this search and we find someone for you right now. But when you use this search, type in the job title, click enter, and then when you get all these categories, click on people. Then once you get the people coming up in the results, then you tailor it to your locations. I'm just going to click on United States. And you might find people who are in your category who are recruiters using that. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to find anything with that. Maybe a better title might be technology recruiter. So I want
Wouldn't
to
you
think
want to
about
put a geographical filter into?
I did
right?
put in United States. You certainly
Okay.
could put in the specific geography or whatnot
Yeah.
in there. But that's, I guess it's just the social selling index is nodding to this a little bit because it knows how often you're searching for people and you're using those filters. So that's that category. The third one is called Engage with Insights, and it says discover and share conversation-worthy updates to create and grow relationships. Now, to me, this seems a little bit like the second part of establishing your brand, becoming a thought leader by publishing meaningful posts. What this is speaking of is, are people commenting on your posts and are you replying back? And are you also getting into the comments on other posts that are starting to get a lot of traction as well? So that's kind of saying you need to participate in conversations, create conversations and participate them in the homepage feed. And then the final category is called build relationships. And it says strengthen your network by finding and establishing trust with decision makers. A little bit vague on what that means, but my understanding is that you're using the personal notes. If you have a limit, use all of them a month. So if you have 5 or 10, make sure you're using all 5 or 10. But then as people are inviting you to connect and you're accepting them, message them back and get some conversations started. To me, I always get 25 because I do this with every invitation every time. I screen them in, I message them afterwards. If you send me an invitation, I reply back to you. So this is really helping with that relationship building process. So how can this help you as a job seeker? It can help you to see which areas that you could increase focus in terms of social selling, which is really building relationships with people and helping to support your job search. I do want you to all keep in mind that this is the SSI tool is a sales feature by LinkedIn. They're trying to get you to upgrade to Sales Navigator. Someplace on the page it says if you want to increase to, upgrade to Sales Navigator, you'll have a better chance of success. I don't know. They're trying to upsell you. So do keep that in mind, but you can use this tool for to help you. Does that help you, David?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, good. All right, guys, it is coming up to 10:59 a.m. and I want to give a few final reminders before we end the call here today. First of all, Kenneth Lang joined us a few minutes late, and he is part of our All-Star team. So I want to give the floor to Kenneth to introduce himself and talk about anything he is working on. Go ahead, if you could, Kenneth.
Appreciate the opportunity. Always love attending Brenda's calls. In addition to attending these events every Tuesday, I do a LinkedIn Live, and this coming Tuesday, I have Mark Beal, who's going to be talking about working in a multi-generational workforce. So I hope you attend those and others. I also work with individual clients on their LinkedIn best practices, and I try to keep up with all the changes. And as Brenda will tell you, it's almost impossible to do that. So I think we all kind of support each other as much as possible. But these calls are amazing, and there's so many great resources here. Make sure to reconnect with everyone. Make sure to stay in touch because you never know who knows who. And so I look forward to being on these calls in the future, and I look forward to supporting you, Brenda, and Mindy, and Joey. And this is kind of like the Waltons all over again. We kind of bust everyone's chops about that. So thanks a lot, Brenda.
All right, great to see you, Kenneth, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I just want to remind everybody that the All-Stars are really amazing people to follow, to connect with, and they're really great resources to reach out to. So do tap into their expertise if you do have any questions. I am dropping a few resources inside of chat right now, and then I'm going to talk about each of them in just a moment here, but I want to make sure I get all 3 of them in here. I think I put the WBL earlier, but let me grab that one more time too. Because there were a few people who are on the call, Kenneth Lang, Jen Spainhauer, who were speakers at the event as well. And I'll just put free playback and job seeker resources. Trying to type and talk at the same time. So let me just go through the links that I put inside the chat. First of all, I have a checklist called Do This First. This is created for people who are thinking about maybe making a job move and you don't want your employer, your coworkers, your boss to know. So things that you should do first before starting that process. That helps to just be aware of some of the visibility settings you have on LinkedIn and some things you don't want to do to throw off any red flags. The second resource I provided is called Do This Now. And this is the checklist that I've created along with some of the all-stars on the call that gives you guidance on what you should do as you start your process of going in through the job search, the separation from the employer. Because I always think it's kind of interesting how when you're an employee of the company, they take really good care of you. And then as soon as you are separated from the company, they don't tell you anything. They don't tell you that you should go file for unemployment. They don't tell you whether you should have a lawyer look at that separation agreement before signing it. You should. They don't tell you if you should be asking to purchase your laptop or cell phone. You should. You know, they don't tell you any of these things because they don't, at that point, you're not their employee, you're an independent person. So we've created this checklist of things that can help you as you're starting that process of being unemployed and in career transition and giving yourself the best chances for success. Keep in mind, it's a resource. It's not meant to be legal advice. Consult with your attorney or lawyer if you're looking for that type of advice, but it can be a very good resource for you. I also I'm pleased to announce I'm doing a free webinar coming up. I'm really designing it for people that are working but looking, but even if you're not working, you're welcome to attend. It's called Using LinkedIn in Stealth Mode. It's for those that are working but quietly looking for a new job in 2024 and who are experience rich. You can go to mellermarketing.com/stealth. And I currently have 2 dates that are open. Thursday, March 14th, which is Pi Day, 3.14 Pi Day, at 7 p.m. at night. And I'm also doing one on Saturday, March 16th at 11 a.m. Those are both Eastern time, so be sure to check that out. And the final resource is the WBL playback page, mellermarketing.com/WBL24, where you can get the free playbacks and resources from that day's event. And I've actually clipped out each of the talks so you don't have to watch the 4-hour event. You can just look at the segments that are of interest to you. All right, before we wrap up here today, I want to couple technical things and then I'll give you a little inspiration, okay? So some technical things first. If you would like to download the chat, go to the top of your chat navigation, look for the 3 dots. Okay, so when you click on the 3 dots at the top of your chat navigation, it will say Save Chat. And when you click on Save Chat, you should see a little thing that says Show in Folder. Typically, it goes to your Downloads folder, okay? If for any reason you're watching this by phone or tablet and you can't download it, just go into chat right now and say, can someone email it to me? Somebody will email it to you, okay? They will help you out. So if you don't see the option to save the chat, just go into the chat right now and just say, can someone email it to me and give us your email? Someone from the group will help you out, okay? I also want to encourage you to connect with the fellow job seekers that were on the call here today and help each other because you are your team right now. And I want you to think about this. Looking around the room here today, we had almost 100 people on the call here today. Could you imagine how much more wonderful this world would be if we all knew that people were looking out for each other, that when you were in career transition, that people were going to help you, right? And then when you're back to work, you're going to pay it forward and you're going to help other people in career transition as well. So you are not alone in this process. I want you to keep in mind, I mean, gosh, even on today's call, you could create many new connections that are going to help to support you in the job search. This call isn't just about taking. It's not just about coming in here and sharing what you're looking for and getting advice and leaving. It's also about giving. And that means connecting with fellow job seekers, keeping your eyes and ears open for job opportunities. And by the way, if you do find job opportunities and maybe you're like, I remember somebody in the group was looking for a Scrum position, Scrum Master, but I can't remember her name, go into our private VIP job seeker group on LinkedIn and share it in there. And just say, does anyone remember who was the Scrum Master? Somebody will say, Julie Bruton, I remember her. Somebody will tag Julie in on the post. And if you have not already joined the group, I'm going to share that link inside the chat right now. And I'm also going to share the screen just to show you the way that this group works. And we've got almost 1,000 members of the group right now. So when you get inside, you can see who the fellow group members are. For those of you who are trying to join the group, I want to let you know I screen everybody in. So I just do a quick once over to make sure that nobody looks like they are trying to sell or pitch services. I kind of look at the job titles and the headlines in there, and then I will admit you inside the group. And then you as a group member, you can share job postings that you come across. You can share posts to job boards or opportunities or things like that. You can share links to other events. This is not a selfish Brenda only group. This is a share whatever you want. So here, for example, Lewis shared some resources to job boards from Adam Karpiak. So you can go inside the group here, and these are a lot of remote jobs. So you can look at some of these job boards. These are much different than the Indeed and Hot Jobs and all these other things. So check those out. Share your resources in the group. Share your job postings in the group. Share your Pi Day things in the group, like Andrew. Make my day on there, and really use that group as a resource, okay? And I will be periodically checking for requests that are coming in the group, and I will be admitting you in there, okay? With that said, I want to thank you so much for making the time to join us here today. I want to thank our all-stars so much for sharing their expertise. Christopher, thank you for helping. Mindy, Linda, Joey, Kenneth, who else did I miss? Who wasn't here with us today? Jen, I'm looking at the names inside here. And I want to thank all of you for being a part of the call here today. And I want to wish you all a wonderful weekend. Remember, this is temporary. This is only for now. This isn't forever. This is just temporary. While you are in career transition, we are here for you. Okay. With that said, I will stop the live stream on YouTube. I'm going to go take the dog out real quick, and then I will come back inside the Zoom and I will close this off. Have a wonderful weekend. Remember, we are here the first Friday of every month. If you do have any questions in the meantime, you can reach me at brenda@mellermarketing.com. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thank you again. Take care.
Hasta la vista, baby. Ciao. Arrivederci. Adios.
Good session.
Have a
guys.
great weekend and a good rest of your month of March. Bye, guys.
Au revoir.
Thank
Great
you,
session.
everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, the coaches, and have a good weekend, everyone.
Yes. Thanks, everybody.